Hi everybody, it's Carrie from Carrie's Corner. How are you doing today? It's Thursday and it is the 11th of November. It's almost the weekend. I want to talk to you today about claims and how claims are handled with your insurance company, your agent, and yourself. So independent agents, which is what I am, they represent multiple carriers. And so we have the option to write multiple carriers, quote multiple carriers, and move you to multiple carriers. That's an independent agent. Then you have what's called captive agents. Captive agents are agents that only work for one company, like State Farm, Allstate, those type places. So multiple carriers, one carrier. And as an agent, you are appointed by that carrier, and your job is to sell their insurance products, their policies. And in that part of your process, you talk to your client and you confirm all the specific details about your house or your car or whatever you're insuring. And so then your agent then takes that information provided by you, and we put it into the quoting system and we get a quote back. And if you're independent like me, we get several quotes back and we decide which is the best policy, has the best coverages, that fits your needs at the best price. So we then present that to you. You look it over, and depending on which way you decide to go, then we process an application and we submit it to the carrier. The carrier then takes that application, reviews it, and either approves it or declines it, right? That is the standard process that we go through when we're writing an insurance policy. So then let's just say you have a claim. So then you call your agent, and the agent then says, okay, here's your policy number, this is your carrier name, here's a telephone number, sometimes here's a form, and we send that to you, and then you fill it all in and you send the information on to your carrier, and you have a conversation about what went on, you make a statement generally, and then the claims are then processed. And in that process, let's say there's problems in that process. Maybe they need documentation, or the coverages were different than you anticipated, and there's problems. And so back up for a minute and let's just make sure that we talk about the fact that when your agent sends you an application, it is crucially important for you to review that application. And if you have any questions on that application, to make sure to ask your agent about that. And then you have to sign that application. And right now, most carriers do it electronically. You're sent an email and they say, please welcome to so-and-so, please review your application, sign it, and then boom, it goes into the carrier. And then your agent, like me, we go online and we pull down copies of everything and we print it, and then we put it in your file. Hopefully we don't have any claims. But then we have a claim, okay, and there's problems in that claim. Whatever the circumstances may be are of that claim, but there's problems in that claim. So you call your agent and you say, Carrie, I'm having all sorts of trouble with this insurance company. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And so then as your agent, then I will call the carrier and I will say, whatever the circumstances may be, my client is waiting for a phone call, blah, 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 blah. Please call the client, and that's kind of the end of my authority, or an agent's authority, to deal with claims. Agents are not authorized under any circumstances, unless you are an authorized licensed claims processor as well, to process claims. We don't have any authority on those claims processes. None. So a lot of times what happens is clients call your agent and they say, I need you to do this, and I need you to do that, and I need you to call and make sure this happens. And as agents, we sort of sit at the bottom of the pecking order. You may think it's the other way around, but it's not. We are at the bottom of the pecking order. It's the agent, then the client, then the carrier. And so To be realistic and to understand this process, you need to understand that your agent, regardless of whether they are an independent agent or a captive agent, they have very specific requirements and conduct that they have to follow whenever there is a transaction that takes place. And that includes claims. So as an agent, I just can't call up the carrier and go, you know, my client is really upset. I don't know what your problem is, but you need to pay X because that's what the policy says. And you need to get it done in a day because my client is tired of waiting for you to call them. And the insurance company is going to go, oh, really? That's funny. You're just an agent. You don't have the authority to do any of that. You don't have the authority to call us and say, you need to do that, you need to do this. An agent is a facilitator between you as the client and the carrier. And if there are situations where you are not getting return phone calls or you're not getting documentation and you are struggling with the communication between yourself as the client and the carrier, then by all means, an agent can certainly help facilitate that communication. But that is the extent of the pull, if you would, that any agent has in the claims process. We just simply are not allowed to be involved in the claims process. Now, there are some agents who are certified claims adjusters and they carry a very specific license for that. But that's very unusual. There are not generally a whole lot of agents that write and process claims for the same policy, because that is basically, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure it is a standard policy, that that's a conflict of interest. So what do you do? How do you resolve the situation? It's a very complex problem, especially right now, because across the United States and really across the world, everybody is understaffed. Customer service has been left the building weeks ago. People are trying to stay afloat. The economy is where is the economy? We have no economy. And so it's a frustrating process. And believe me, as an agent who deals with this almost on a daily basis, it seems, it is just as frustrating for us because we have no authority to force decisions, force actions. We have no authority when it comes to processing claims. We are just simply the facilitator who sells the product for the carrier. So I just really felt the need today, because of all of these frustrating problems that are going on across the world in just about every facet of business, that to try to have patience with each other. It's frustrating, especially when you're in the middle of something and you're waiting on money from a carrier to come and they say they've done it, but yet they haven't done it, and they providing information to a client, you, and to the agent, and that information doesn't match. And so there's this huge, big miscommunication that goes on. And part of the problem, I hate to say, part of the problem right now is that every single carrier that I hear of nationwide and worldwide are simply far too understaffed. So they cannot possibly keep up with the volume of customer service work that they're dealing with. Is that an excuse? No, shouldn't be that way. Should they handle it? Yeah, they should. Should they take the necessary steps to fix the problem? Yeah, they should. Should they hire people? Yeah, they should. You pay the money for a policy, and as a customer, you expect to get what you paid for. I get it, believe me. I've struggled with this for 2.5 weeks where I've had problems with vendors who don't supply what I've asked them to. So I just would like to post this message and just say, let's just take a deep breath and let's not get so frustrated, and let's work with each other and try to resolve our problems, because my goodness, every single person, it seems, is under just an inordinate amount of stress these days for so many different reasons. We're still trying to get out of COVID. Our economy and our financial situations are stressed because our government cannot seem to get it together and stop the terrible inflation that we're feeling. And I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but I just am not seeing that we're going to have a whole lot of improvement. So we all just have to take a really deep breath, step back and say, okay, I know it's not right, and I'm trying to resolve it, and I'm trying to stay positive, because that's what I try to do every day. But it's not easy, guys. It's just not easy. So I just really wanted you to understand the process of what the position of your agent is, how frustrating it can be because our hands are tied so much of the time, and to give you some insight by taking this few minutes to listen to this explanation. So that's it today. Please stop by my YouTube channel, give me a thumbs up if you will, like and subscribe, because that really does help me to bring these matters to your attention and to try to get some exposure. But more than anything, I really am trying to help you. These videos are for your educational purposes only, and I hope that they help give you some insight into the world of insurance and how complicated and frustrating that world can be sometimes. So God bless. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.